Hello viewers, 4DIYers here with another video for everyone. In this regular video here, I'll be showing you how to replace the glow plugs and module on a BMW M57 diesel. This particular car I'm working with here today is a 2010 BMW 335 DE90. A similar procedure may also apply to other BMW models with the same engine. Faulty glow plugs or a module can cause hard starts, especially when the weather is cooler, and will trigger a check engine light with glow plug related codes. I'm currently partnered with Turner Motorsport. They are a reputable BMW supplier that has been present in the BMW community for a number of years. With every sale from their website using my links in the video description, I do get a bit of cutback to help keep my channel going. Links to all these parts used in the video will be included in the video description. Before we get started, it's a good idea to disconnect the battery. This requires a 10mm socket, which I have already done. Remove the 6 8mm screws holding down the cabin filter cover. Lift off the cabin filter cover. Unclip the sensor for the hood. Pull out the side tabs and remove the outer covers by the hood shocks. Here's a close-up of removing that cover. Remove the 2 8mm screws on each side of the windshield cowl. There will be one on each side. If you haven't already, unclip the wire that goes across the engine bay under the plastic trim just above the engine cover. Lift up the plastic cover and then pull it towards the front of the car. There will be an extra wire that also needs to be disconnected in order to fully remove this piece. Before going any further, it's always a good idea to vacuum up any debris which can potentially fall inside the engine. Using an E14 socket, remove the 2 bolts on each of the strut towers for the strut braces. Remove the plastic cover at the center of the windshield cowl. Then loosen the E18 bolt here. There's no need to fully remove it as the strut braces have a slotted hole where they just slide under this bolt. Then remove the strut braces for each side. Make note of their orientation as they only fit in one position. Remove the 13mm nut for the power wire that goes across the engine bay. As mentioned earlier, you should have disconnected the battery so there's no chance of a short here. Remove the 7 5mm socket head bolts using a 3/8 drive ratchet. The engine cover comes off in 2 pieces, and I'll show you that in a moment. Once the fasteners are out, wipe around the oil fill location, then remove the filler cap. Lift out the first part of the engine cover. Reinstall that oil fill cap. Remove the 3 10mm bolts holding on the center section plastic trim panel on the firewall. There are 2 styles of fasteners here. Make sure you note their location. If you haven't already, pull out the rubber gasket. Then lift out the cover. You may need to pull up on the windshield cowl to help with the movement. Now remove the back section of engine cover. This is a tight fit and will require some patience when removing. Make sure you don't damage any sound insulation. Remove the 2 10mm bolts towards the back corner of the intake on the driver's side. There will be one for the engine oil dipstick bracket and another bracket that goes on the rear. Disconnect the electrical plug for the map sensor. Simply press the tang and pull off. Disconnect the electrical connector on the rear behind the intake. And then disconnect another one below the map sensor. Using cutters, remove the cable tie holding down the one wiring harness. Use a standard screwdriver and gently pry off the electrical connector for the butterfly flap motor. Disconnect the wiring harness for the bracket. Disconnect the electrical connector on top of this assembly along with removing the harness from the wire retaining clip. Using a standard screwdriver, remove the gear clamp holding on the EGR pipe. Disconnect the electrical connector for the EGR valve. Remove the 10mm bolts using a 3/8 drive ratchet for the top of the intake runners. These bolts cannot be fully removed as they snap into place on the intake. Now remove the 11mm nuts for the lower intake runners. You will need a magnet to retrieve each of the nuts. Careful not to lose any. Disconnect the boost pipe going onto the throttle plate and EGR assembly. Wiggle the intake back and forth to help break it free. Remove the intake finally. I tried to clean as much carbon buildup as possible while the intake is removed. The engine wasn't bad, but there's still enough buildup that requires a cleaning. Each of the intake runners had paper towels stuffed in the holes to prevent anything from falling inside the engine. The glow plugs are easily accessible with the intake removed. Working on any hot engine may help with removal of the glow plugs if they are partially seized. There will be 6 in total, 1 for each cylinder. Just like spark plug wires, twist and pull each of the glow plug wires off. Using a 10mm deep socket and a 3-inch extension with a 3-inch drive ratchet, remove each of the glow plugs. Take your time if they are hard to remove. We don't want any of these breaking off in the engine. The torque specifications for the new glow plugs is 10 foot-pounds or 13 Nm. As mentioned earlier, the parts for the video were supplied by Turner Motorsport. Links to these will be included in the video description. With every sale from using the links, I do get a bit of cutback to help keep my channel going. Install each of the wires for each of the plugs. Make sure they are clipped into place. If you are finding any dirt around each of the plug holes, it's always a good idea to clean this first, either with compressed air or a vacuum. Now for the final glow plug removal. Again, remove the wire by twisting and pulling off at the same time. If you find the glow plug is hard to remove, you can loosen, and then tighten again. This will work the plug back and forth, breaking any carbon away. Once removed, then install the new glow plug and tighten. Then clip on the wire. Now for the module, this is the harder part and does take some patience. Remove the 2 10mm nuts holding down the module. Have a magnet handy to prevent the loss of any nuts. Use a wrench for the other fastener. Remove this as well. Now is removing the module. There are 2 connectors in the bottom, which you'll see in a moment. It is possible to break the clips. Don't force it and take your time as it's only plastic. A small pry tool can be used to help pop up the clips with the removal. Both electrical connectors will have clips viewable from above and another one facing from the bottom, so 2 per connector. It's best to replace both the glow plugs and module in one shot as it's the same amount of work for one or the other component. While my module is acting up, replacing the glow plugs is preventative maintenance. Once the module is out, pull it through toward the back of the engine. As you can see, there is 2 electrical connectors. Now install the new module, feed it back in the same way the old one was removed. Clip in those electrical connectors, make sure they're fully clipped into place. Then install the 2 10mm nuts and tighten. The old intake gaskets are removed using a standard screwdriver. The intake was soaked in my own homemade hot bath setup to remove any carbon buildup. This is a common issue on these engines. If you are seeking more information on how to do that, I do have a video for that, so be sure to check it out. Those grooves are cleaned for the intake gaskets and then new gaskets are installed. The paper towel was removed for each of the intake runners, and here I'm using a bore scope from Testlong to inspect each of the intake runners. I'm making sure no objects fell inside the engine and that most of the carbon buildup was removed. A link to this bore scope will be included in the video description. The sealing surface for the intake gaskets are also cleaned on the engine side. Scotch-Brite can be used on the side of the head. For the valve cover, I just used a light degreaser with a rag. The intake is then reinstalled back into place. The fasteners are threaded in by hand first to ensure it is properly seated. The 10mm intake bolt torque specifications are 7 foot-pounds or 10 Nm. The 11mm intake nuts between the runners are torqued to 11 foot-pounds or 15 Nm. I would highly recommend running all the bolts in by hand first, snugging them down to make sure everything is properly seated. Use a flashlight to make sure none of the gaskets came out of their place. After that is reconnecting the electrical connectors in the rear of the intake. Reinstall the EGR pipe along with the gear clamp, then tighten. Reinstall the electrical plug for the butterfly flap. Reinstall the other electrical connector and clip those wires into place. Finally, snap in the boost pipe at the front of the assembly. Reconnect the wire going across the engine using the 13mm. Then follow up by installing the plastic protective cover. Plug in the wire for the map sensor. The bracket for the dipstick and at the rear of the intake are installed. The electrical connectors here are also plugged back in too. Before finalizing everything, I reconnected the battery and started the car to ensure everything is working correctly. The rear section of engine cover is installed now. The first 2 bolts for the engine cover are threaded into place. That cover under the cowl is installed along with the 3 10mm fasteners. Remember, there are 2 different thread types here. The rubber gasket by the windshield cowl is pushed back into place. The final section of engine cover is installed. Make sure it clips into place on the back section, then install all those fasteners. The large plastic windshield cowl is then installed. Make sure you pull through those rubber tabs in the backside section, 1 for each side. Snap the power wire that goes across the engine bay back into place. Install both fasteners for each side of this cover. Clip that wire and sensor back into place. Install the cabin filter cover assembly along with its fasteners. Reinstall the strut braces. Slide them in under the bolt head by the windshield, then fasten them into place on the strut towers. Which brace goes on top doesn't matter. Reinstall that plastic cap for that bolt by the windshield. Snap those plastic side covers back into place. After that, you're officially done. New videos released every week on my channel. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It's a huge help to me, and leave a comment below if you found this tutorial helpful. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to also hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching.